Welcome back to Sports Talk ATL. I am Chase Earl, joined by Alex Lord. Mike Greenberg yesterday on Get Up said the Falcons would be 1,000 times better off with Justin Fields at their starting quarterback. When you look at QBR, Fields is right ahead of Desmond Ridder. Obviously, he struggled in Chicago. I don't think you can put all the blame on that. I mean, you're changing coaching staffs yearly out there in Chicago. It's a dumpster fire. I don't love anything that they have on offense. It doesn't seem like they're really tailoring the offense to his skill set. But there's also no denying that he hangs onto the ball too long. He's inaccurate at times, and he makes bad decisions, which are things that we're all saying about Desmond Ridder. Do I think the Falcons would be better off with Justin Fields if he was traded for in the offseason? I would say almost a guarantee. The problem is we can get this whole idea out that he's going to be traded midseason. Now, maybe it's something that comes up at the end of the season, but even that I think is unlikely because if Arthur Smith hangs on to his job past this year, is he really going to go from Desmond Ridder to Justin Fields? Because year 4 is definitely going to be for his job. So you think he probably want to go after a more veteran quarterback. I don't even think a rookie quarterback would be his first choice. He'd probably want to go after someone in free agency.
Yeah, Justin Fields is so dynamic with his feet that it's undeniable. You can't deny that he would be better in this offense because Marcus Mariota is much more dynamic with his feet than Desmond Ridder, and last year's offense is more effective on an EPA standpoint. So there's no denying that Justin Fields would immediately make this Falcons offense better. Would he? How much of Justin Fields' struggle is on the offense? Matt Eberflus is a defensive-minded head coach. Chicago's offense hasn't done a lot for Justin Fields. How much are his shortcomings based on his circumstances? And the same can be said for Desmond Ridder. Is Arthur Smith really putting him in the best position to succeed? I tend to think that Arthur Smith isn't as much of the problem as Desmond Ridder, whereas in Chicago, it's the opposite. I don't think Justin Fields is as big of a problem as the actual offensive system and the coordinator. So there's no denying that Justin Fields would probably make this Falcons offense better today. I'll tell you one thing that you cannot argue. It would be a hell of a lot more fun to watch Justin Fields in this Falcons offense than Desmond Ridder. Imagine Justin Fields and Bijan Robinson in the same backfield. That would give defensive coordinators nightmares. I mean, that two of the most dynamic players with the ball in their hands. Justin Fields, regardless of position, is one of the most dynamic players in the NFL. Bijan Robinson has already proven to be one of the most dangerous ball carriers in the NFL. But I think you nailed it at the end there. This is all for naught. Mike Greenberg's just blowing smoke. This is not going to happen. There will be no quarterback trade for the Falcons because, one, that's delusional. You're crazy. Do you know how hard it is to understand first, just the terminology alone? And then you have to understand the nuances of the actual offense. You can't do that in 1 week or on the fly, especially Justin Fields, who is just trying to, get by in the NFL. He's just trying to understand Bears offense, how defenses are attacking him. That is delusional. There will be no quarterback trade. Plus, you got one of the highest paid backup quarterbacks in the league in Taylor Heinicke. If there will be a Desmond Ridder benching, it will be for Taylor Heinicke, not another quarterback. But like you said, the offseason, that's a whole different beast. I have no idea what's going to happen. And I think that Arthur Smith doesn't even know what's going to happen because he can't think like that. All he's thinking about is, I got to beat the Texans. I got to get Desmond Ridder back on track because the problem for the Atlanta Falcons is the biggest problem is Desmond Ridder has not improved. For argument's sake, he has improved marginally over 8 starts. That's not good enough. Not in the NFL.
No, I mean, listen, I'm off the Desmond Ridder train. And I'm saying it prematurely. And I know it's a bit premature after 8 starts, but I like to be ahead of the curve, not behind it. I think it's funny that people will bring up like Jalen Hurts. It's like, oh, people were saying the same thing about Jalen Hurts. It's like, okay, yes, you can name these scenarios where a guy was doubted after his first 8 starts and he came up. And there's a few of them without there. There's no doubt, especially in the history, there's probably a laundry list of them. The problem is the laundry list on the other side of the guys that we all said after 8 starts that were trash is 80,000 times longer. And this guy's a 3rd-round pick that not a lot of people thought was going to be some superstar. So, you just have to be realistic about the situation. Desmond Ridder is the problem right now. The Falcons are probably going to have to fix it in the offseason. My biggest thing, as I already said, with Justin Fields is, are they going to take a risk on another unproven commodity, which what he is? But as you said, man, it's fun to think about, especially if you can get Kyle Pitts healthy, because if there's two things that you like about Justin Fields, it's his electricity, just the fact that he can make so many plays with his feet. You put them in this offense, that's going to result in better results off the bat. The other thing that I like about Justin Fields is he can throw the ball accurately down the field. Like, he has shown that several times throughout his career and back in college. I'm not sure Desmond Ridder can do that. And I do think that really handcuffs a lot of what the Falcons are trying to do, because there's almost no shots down the field taken. And when they are, they're to the wrong guy. I mean, you saw him throw into double coverage. I think it was to Drake London, and Kyle Pitts runs this deep cross. He's wide open. And you got to I watched that play, and it's like, everyone's going to talk about the picks, but there's so many other plays where you're just like, dude, this guy's wide open. This guy's wide open. And you just predetermined pre-snap, hey, we're going deep to this guy into double coverage. And there's so many discouraging things about what Desmond Ridder has done that I'm off board. Like, I just cannot continue to sit here and try to tell you guys that I believe something's going to change when I don't think anything's going to change. It could be better, but being better than last week is almost impossible not to do.
Yeah. After Detroit, I think a lot of people were going, what is the problem? Because there was a disconnect between Ridder and pass catchers. Arthur Smith's passing concept, like I've said multiple times, there was no rhyme or reason, and the offensive line was horrible. I think we got our answer in London. I mean, it was clearly Ridder.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that Ridder was the problem against the Lions, but he was absolutely the problem in London.
We got to go to break. Coming up after the break, we're going to take a look around the SEC, outside the SEC.